Breaking: Democrats and GOP agree to fund border wall, but there's a big catch. By Al Weisman for DailyVine.com. President Trump, the Republicans, and the Democrats can't seem to agree on much when it comes to funding for a border wall to protect our nation from invaders from the south. However, they agreed to fund another border wall, but it's located in another country where it does not have an impact on Americans, even though the Americans are paying for it. Americans were treated to enough funds to build or repair 33 miles of fencing along the Texas border and other parts of the border with Mexico. Wow, you see, we were treated with enough funds to put fencing along 33 miles. Unbelievable. But there were no funds provided to build an actual border wall. In contrast, this proves that a strong border is a good idea, because if it is good for them, then it's good for us. The omnibus spending bill provides $500 million to help Jordan build a wall and defense against jihad terrorists trying to cross their 287-mile border with Iraq and Syria. This provides protection against crime and terrorist activities, among other things very similar in nature to what many Americans wish to have on their own border with Mexico. The Jordan Wall was designed to block the movement of jihads into their land where they might commit horrible acts of terror. But many critics have asked how that helps Americans and why are Americans paying for it. An article from Vice provided more details on the Jordan Wall, part of which is very disturbing to many Americans. The wall, which began as a $20 million project in 2008 to erect a set of surveillance towers along 30 miles stretch of the border with Syria, has since expanded into a program costing $500 million, according to defense officials who spoke to Vice News. Called the Jordan Border Security Program, the wall is ostensibly meant to stop weapons of mass destruction from getting out, but since 2013 has refocused on detecting Islamic State fighters and arms smuggling, as well as refugees on both sides of the border. When completed later this decade, the border wall will have a camera-studded high-security fence, plus a network of ground sensors and set of fixed and mobile surveillance towers that will be able to see and detect activity 5 miles away on either side of the fence. The entire system funnels into a joint U.S.-Jordanian command center, where the United States also shares additional intelligence with Jordan about external threats to the kingdom. The first phase of the erection of the towers was completed in September of 2009. I really am not really that interested so much in a whole in-depth article, a 3-hour article about the wall that's being built. But here's Senator Rand Paul, and I'm still reading. This bill is no Brad Thor thriller. Page 365, overseas contingency operations, aka military slush fund that circumvents budget caps. All told, we've spent over $1 trillion in this budget busting category. Page 376 of terrible, rotten, no good budget busting bill. This was in March 22nd here. I found it. Border security, what President Trump wanted. No, wait a minute. Section says defense can spend what funds it determines to enhance the border security of Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt, and Tunisia. It's as if they're making a fool of President Trump. You're going to tell me Trump would have signed this if something wasn't going on? Are you kidding me? No, something is taking place. Rand Paul wasn't happy about the Jordan Wall and expressed his distaste on Twitter, as did many Americans, some on both sides of the political spectrum. It appears as though the Jordan Wall served as a twofold project that stops items from going out as much as stopping the wrong people from coming in. So let's just get to the gist. It's the Breitbart looked further into the omnibus spending bill to determine where and what it specifically stated about the Jordan Wall. They found the following. $500 million funds appropriated by this act for the Defense Security Cooperation Agency and operation and maintenance defense-wide may be used to provide assistance to the government of Jordan to support the armed forces of Jordan and to enhance security along the borders. Okay. Trump has faced backlash all day after reluctantly signing the bill after threatening a veto. On the other hand, Trump did sneak in a little something extra for the defense of Americans and managed to get a very nice spending limit to help maintain and build up the American military forces. Are you upset that Jordan gets a wall and America doesn't? Do you want America to have tougher immigration laws? Do you want a wall on the border? Please share your opinion in this article with your friends. It's not even a question. The thing is, the money that they're raking in on this omnibus bill for projects that have zero value, like obesity and Obamacare and alcohol, substance, like what? Millions of dollars being spent on trash, let's put it this way. And that Kennedy guy was right. He said it's like a dog took relieved himself on a pant leg, that he said. Yeah, that with the American taxpayer money. What I'd like to get to the bottom of this is, why did Trump sign this bill? Because this is opposite of who Trump is and what Trump stands for. What is going on is the big question. That's basically, I'm going to repeat it constantly. There's something going on for Trump to sign this bill. He would have never signed this bill. And it's not for the military, because those are crumbs. What they are giving to the military for the increase in salary are crumbs in comparison to that. And another thing, they're saying that Trump wants to build up the military and that's the first defense and this and that. So in other words, they found a point where Trump was willing to break. In other words, for defense spending, why such a, for one item and they get 100 items? And they get money for everything, and you just get a percentage in comparison to what they're getting. It was a $1.3 trillion bill. What did they get for the military out of that 1.3 trillion? Trillion, not billion. What did they get for the military increase? I think it was something like 8 or something, 800, or I don't remember. But if we're talking trillions of dollars here, what did they get for the military? I don't think Trump would have signed this just for the military spending. It just doesn't seem right. And notice that the Democrats didn't say anything about helping DACA. No. And Schumer is out there smiling. So I don't know. And now they're even rubbing it in our face that we're getting $500 million to pay for the wall in Jordan. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.